Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Emmanuel here once again. Thank you for liking, those who are liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for checking on me. Those views matter. The views matter, the likes matters, the sharing matters. So keep it up. Anyone who is liking. Anyway, back on the constitution of the Pearl of Africa, that is Uganda, 1995 as amended. We are still on chapter 7, the executive. So we are breaking into two. Once again, I'm making you remember that I'm not teaching, but we are reading it together. Okay, we are reading. Those who don't know English, natubadiramu. So nga we nabagamba eno constitution sizze wano basomesa naye just tusoma fenna. Okitegeera siri teacher naye just tusoma ki fenna. Nga wenza mu Luganda, nga wensoma mu Luzungu, nga wenza mu Luganda. N'Oluganda nalwo sirumanyi bulungi. You know, bwe bityo. So twakomye ejjo ku article 119 Attorney General wa Uganda bamuyita Kiryowa Kiwanuka. I think Kiryowa Kiwanuka. He was appointed, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2021, like June 2021. Yeah, General Kiryowa Kiwanuka is a businessman and a lawyer. So omugaso gwa Attorney General gw'amaanyi kwe ku advising the government. Is to advise the government. Okay. Attorney General. There shall be an Attorney General who shall be a cabinet minister appointed by the president with the approval of parliament. Mugwanga wagenda waino bera mu Attorney General. Agenda bera minister wa cabinet, president ya ino mu appointinga naye nga kirizibwa ki parliament. A person shall not be qualified to be appointed Attorney General unless he or she is qualified to practice as an advocate of the High Court and has so practiced or gained the necessary experience for not less than 10 years. Okubeera Attorney General, olina okubeera nga osobola okuwoza mu High Court, osobola okubeera lawyer mu High Court. You have to be an advocate in the High Court for not less than 10 years. Olina okumala emyaka 10 ng'owoza mu High Court. Then nawe basobola appointinga nga Attorney General. The Attorney General shall be the principal legal advisor of the government. Nga bwe nabagambye, Attorney General agenda obeera nga ye kabejja mu advising a government ekyokola. To give legal advice and legal services to the government on any subject. Agenda ku advising a government mu buli kimu kyonna ekiba kyetaagisa. To draw and pursue agreements, contracts, treaties, conventions, and documents by whether name called to which the government is party or in respect of which the government has an interest. So Attorney General no yagenda okola ku ndagaano za government, contract za government, okuteesa kwa government, convention za government zonna. Kale buli kamu government keyeenyigiramu Attorney General yalina okukola ki? Okuprocessing ezi agreements zonna, contracts, treaties, everything. To represent the government in courts or any other legal proceedings to which the government is a party, and to perform such other function as may be assigned to him or her by the president or by the law. Agenda ku defending a government, oyo Attorney General agenda defending a government, ate taking a part. President bwamugamba nti twagala kola kino, then agenda akola ekyo as even it is prescribed by the law. Yeah. Subject to the provision of this constitution, no agreement, contract, treaty, convention, or document by whatever name called to which government is a party or in respect of which the government has an interest shall be concluded without legal advice from Attorney General, except in such cases and subjects to such conditions as Parliament may by the law. teri ndagaano yonna egenda kukolebwa, teri contract yonna egenda signingibwa, teri treaty yonna gye bagenda oteesaako government oba ne party endala nga Attorney General Mr. General Kiryowa Kiwanuka nga tagitaddemu mukono oba takikiriza. Era an investor who is out there and wants to make an agreement with the government of Uganda, like when you make a contract and the Attorney General has not signed on it, maybe you may be scammed. That's what I can say. Buli omu yenna ali eyo nga afunye omuntu nga ayagala muleeta kukolegana ne government, nga bakola endagaano ne government, Attorney General nga tataddeeko mukono. I pity for you. Until Parliament makes the law referred to in Clause 5 of this article, the Attorney General may be statutory instrument except any particular category of agreement or contract, none of the parties to which a foreign government or its agency or an international organization from the appearance of the clause. Ekyenvu mbagamba okujjako nga palamenti ekoze etteeka oba nga bagirifaalinze oba nga palamenti ekyenyigiddemu, any organization oba ekintu kyonna ekigenda okukola endagaano ne government oba businessman oba investor oba any other government, they are making treaties or agreements nga Attorney General taliimu, that may be invalid. Okay. Our Attorney General tuwa tumumaze. Okay, Director of Public Prosecution. That is Article 120. Director of Public Prosecution. There shall be a Director of Public Prosecution appointed by the President on the recommendation of Public Service Commission and with the approval of Parliament. Ono Director of Public Prosecution gwe tulina kati bamuyita Lady Justice Jane Abodo. Yeah, he's the current Director of Public Prosecution. Era akulira office gye bayita Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Hey, Lady Justice Jane Abodo. Ngende munoonyezeeko mulabe. Okay, a person is not qualified to be appointed DPP unless he or she is qualified to be appointed of a judge of a high court. Yeah, sorry, bamwita Justice Lady Abodo. Justice Lady Jane Abodo. So, akwa appointing a DPP, Director of Public Prosecution, obeera ng'oli mulamuzi mu high court. The function of the Director of Public Prosecution are the following: to direct the police to investigate any information of a criminal nature and to report to him or her. Asobola okudirectinga police n'agamba mugende munoonyereze ku kino na kino na kino, then mujje mu reportingire. To institute criminal proceedings against any person or authority in any court with competent jurisdiction other than a court martial. Asobola kuyingira musango gwa criminal, musango gw'obutemu proceeding when a person or authority in a court with competent. So asobola okuyingiramu n'agamba I need information about that. DPP. To take over and continue any criminal proceeding instituted by any other person or authority. Asobola okujja mu musango gwonna n'agamba kakati I'm taking over that case. Okay, Justice Lady Abodo, please. Offices zonna file zonna ne bazimukwasa n'azitekinga mu maaso. To discontinue at any stage before judgment is delivered any criminal proceeding to which this article relates, instituted by him or herself or any other person or authority, except that the DPP shall not discontinue any proceeding commenced by another person or authority except with the consent of the court. Except with the concept of the court. Okujjako nga kiriwa kiri mu concept ya kooti, kale kiri mu mitendera ya kooti, because mulamuzi wa kooti asobola okuyingira mu musango gwonna gw'ayagala oyingiramu. Agamba kati wano omusango gwe gutuuse mu gunkwase, nze nja gukola ki, nze nja gumaliriza, naye nga bino byonna ino bikolera wa just in case nga omusango guli mu kooti. The functions conferred on the Director of Public Prosecution under Clause 3 of this article may, in the case of function under Clause 3A, B, C, and D of this article, be exercised by him or herself or by officers authorized by him or her according with the general specified instructions, and shall, in the case of the functions under paragraph D of that clause, be exercised by him or her. Ye kenyina asobola gwekwatiramu oba asobola otuma omuntu n'agamba gwe genda, I want you to finish this and this for me. And indeed, yenna gwatumye oba omuntu gwatumye gwe yeesiga, he can continue with the proceedings. In exercising his or her powers under this article, the Director of Public Prosecution shall have regard to the public interest, the interest of the administration of justice, and the need to prevent abuse of legal process. Ensonga lwaki bamuteekawo to prevent abuse of legal process. Manye mu mateeka nawo mulimu abuses, ng'omusango bagudira eyinze oba waliwo ebitagenda maaso bulungi oba nga all the abuse, all the ensonga obusobisobi, ensobi ezibeerawo mu mateeka. In the exercise of the functions conferred on him or her by this article, the Director of Public Prosecution shall not be subjected to the Director of Control of any person or authority. Okay. In the exercise of the function covered on him or her article, the Director of Person shall not be subjected to the direction or control of any person or authority. Tagenda beera controlled by any person. So if he is entered, this is him and the case. No any control of any authority or government or chi. No, because he's a judge of a high court. So she knows what she would be doing. Okay, that was the DPP, Director of Public Prosecution, who heads the Office of the Director of the Public Prosecution. So, prerogative of mercy. Kino kitegeeza okusanyuwibwa, like to forgive you, like to give you a pardon. Prerogative of mercy kyaliwo mu biseera byadda, like it was an executive order. Kitera nnyo ova mu bakulu nga ba president n'avaayo n'agamba I've offered him a pardon. Either nga bakuteeka kalaba oba bakola ki oba bakusiba life sentence oba bakusiba emyaka mmeka n'agamba according to this and this, wabeerawo obukiiko oba bataddewo ne bagamba kakati according to this and this, oba bakuwaayiriza oba something has happened ne bagamba we are forgiving him, we are giving him pardon. Okay, let's look at this prerogative of mercy. 1. There shall be an advisory committee on the prerogative of mercy, which shall consist of the Attorney General, who shall be the chairperson, and 6 prominent citizens of Uganda appointed by the president. Okay, so president aja appointing akakiiko, an advisory committee, akagenda obeerawo nga katunula mu nsonga za like if it's necessary to give mercy. Waba waliwo ekyetaagisa gwe balina okusonyiwa, then akakiiko ako ka Chief Attorney General Kyewa Kiwanuka, the currently yagenda okakulira, and 6 other people who are appointed by the president. 2. A person shall not be qualified for appointment. A person shall not be qualified for appointment as a member of this committee if he or she is a member of parliament, the Uganda Law Society, or a district councillor. Kana akakiiko tebakkiriza bw'obeera MP oba ng'oli lawyer ng'okolera mu Law Society yonna oba ng'okolera district council, awo ku kakiiko tolina bbeerako. A member appointed under clause 1B of this article shall serve a period of 4 years and shall cease to be a member of this committee. Member w'eno committee gwe balonze mu bana abamemba 5 ajja kukolera emyaka 4. gwawo ng'osiizinga kuba member ekisanja kyo kiba kiweddeeyo. If circumstances arise that would disqualify him or her for appointment, or if removed by the president for inability to perform the functions of his or her office, arising from infirmity of body or mind, or misbehavior, misconduct, or incompetence. President ayinza okujjayo ng'alaba you are not performing, oba toli mu mbeera zo, oba you are not physically fit, so you can either be removed. 4. The president may, on the advice of the committee, grant any person convicted of an offense a pardon either free or subject to law condition. Ye president ayina eddembe oba ayina amaanyi agasobola okusonyiwa omuntu yenna nga bamuteeka ku kalabu oba balina omusango gwonna gwe bamuggulako oba balina kye bamukyajinga, naye nga yeewanudde with advice bakuyita batya mu Luganda, kwewanuzaako, anyway kasita okitegedde, advice of the committee. Okay, grant a person a respite either indefinite or for a specified period from the execution or punishment imposed on him or her for an offense. Nga bwenkugambye bw'ayogera n'akakiiko n'alaba nti omuntu just maybe he needs to be pardoned, president ayina amaanyi agasobola okukola ekintu ekyo. Okay. Substitute a less severe form of punishment for a punishment imposed on a person for an offense. Akakiiko kano kayinza otuula oba omukulembeze n'atuula n'akakiiko oba n'akeewanuuzaako ne balaba oba bwe baba bakuwadde ekibonerezo nga kya myaka 10, negamba kati katumusalireko katumuwe ekibonerezo kya myaka 2 according to the offense you've made, or remit the whole or part of punishment imposed on a person or of a penalty or fortune otherwise due to the government on an account of any offense. Oba emisango yonna they wipe it clean. So that is what we call that's what we call prerogative of mercy. We are still on that. Where a person is sentenced to death for an offense, a written report of the case from the trial judge or judges or person presiding over the court or tribunal, together with such other information derived from the record of the case or elsewhere as may be necessary, shall be submitted to the advisory committee on the prerogative of mercy. Bwe baba omuntu bamulonzeeyo kumusonyiwa, fayiru zonna, lipooti, simanyi bw'oba misango abagimuwozaako oba ba judges gye bamutaddeko, fayiru zonna balina ozisindika mu kakiiko in that committee. Then a reference in this article to conviction or imposition of a punishment, sentence or fortune, include conviction or imposition or punishment, penalty, sentence or fortune by a court martial or other military tribunal except a field court martial. Reference kale buli kimu bw'obanga bakusanyuwe bakuwadde prerogative of mercy, fayiru zo, emisango gyo gyonna gy'okoze, ebibadde mu bajaji, ebiri mu balooya, ebiri mu wakuwaabidde, ekkooti simanyi military reference, bwe baba bakutaddeko amagye gakunoonye, police reference, kale buli kimu kyonna balina okisindika mu kakiiko, oba katuukayo kabyokya simanyi. So there you are offered pardon and you become clean. Abawachingako film The Prison Break, I think you know about this. You know how Michael Scofield, Dominic Purcell, they were pardoned, by the Attorney General. Attorney General yakebera Sira, and they found when it was very interesting, they were pardoned. So prerogative of mercy, that's how it works. Once you're forgiven, everything is wiped clean. Whether a police whether it's a police reference. Esookerwako wowaaba omusango ku police tebasooka okuwaka police reference, then ne batandika okunoonya. So that is wiped slate clean. Okay, international relations. That is Article 1 to 2. Diplomatic representations. 1. The president may, with the approval, the president may, with the approval of parliament, appoint ambassadors and heads of diplomatic missions. The president, with the approval, may appoint ambassadors and head of them. So proper wange. President, excuse me, waliwo ali mu konsombuano nezi message nga zisesa. President with the approval of parliament. Andrew, please stop sending me those messages if you're watching. So bagamba president alina olukusa olw'oku appointing ambassador n'abakulira diplomatic missions, n'abakulira like, you know, missions ezigenda mu mawanga amalala okubaako bye bamaliriza. Okay, president yakulya appointing aba ambassador. President abalwanira ku lusegere lwa president tosaabulako kifo, kuba there are a lot of things president can appoint you for. President appoints ambassadors. President appoints 6 prominent citizens of the, you know, on this prerogative of mercy. President appoints those members of electoral commission. President appoints ministers. President appoints members of the human rights commission. President these people fighting near president, when you see these people fighting hard like near Bobby Wine, a lot of positions are there. Okay, here we see president appoints ambassadors. Okay, the president may receive envoys accredited to Uganda. Envoys zokinonyerezako nja kibagamba. Okay, then Article 1, 2, 3. Execution of treaties, conventions and agreements. Execution of treaties and conventions and agreements. The president or a person authorized by the president may make treaties, conventions, agreements, or other arrangements between Uganda and any other country, or between Uganda and an international organization or body in respect of any matter. President asobola okukola ki? Okukola endagaano, oba okukola treaty, oba okukola okukirizanganya n'eggwanga eddala oba international body in any matter, you know, like ne bateesa tukole ku kino. Like recently I've seen that the president have been signing deals we don't know about yet, but we are gonna find out. Okay, Parliament shall make laws to govern ratifications of treaties, convention agreements, or other agreements made under clause 1 of this article. So Parliament yegenda okola amateeka naye era president yalina okukola ki? Yalina okusigninga treaty yonna gy'ayagala using those rules the Parliament have made. Declaration of a state of war. Declaration of state of war. I think let's begin from here next time on the declaration of a state of war. After declaration of state of war, we shall go on part 8, the judicial. No, let's finish declaration of state of war. Okudikiralinga nti ensi eri mu lutalo. The president may, with the approval of parliament, given by resolution supported by not less than 2/3 of all members of parliament, declare that a state of war exists between Uganda and any other country. Okudikiralinga state of the law or state of law, approve eno okuva mu parliament ng'ekirizibwa. I mean, why would the parliament even be used here? You know, if it is a state of war, nga tulaba tuli mu lutalo, n'ensi endala ebitundu 2 ku 3 ebya parliament, almost the whole parliament, should declare that we are really on a state of war. I think this is done to determine why are we in that state, and the parliament should think about it, should think like, why are we fighting for ourselves? Are we fighting to protect our own? Are we fighting for what? Okay, where it is inapplicable to seek the approval of parliament before declaration of a state of war, the president may declare a state of war without the approval, but shall seek the approval immediately after declaration, and in any case not less than 72 hours after the declaration. Kyekyo kyembadde neemulugunyaako nti bwe tuba tuli mu lutalo, lwaki tuba twetaaga approval of parliament okudeclaringa nti kati lutalo? So if it is like emergency, tulumbiddwa without anything, president asolo declaring ensi yonna ne tugigamba nti tuli mu lutalo, then within 72 hours nawandikira parliament for approval. Okay, where the president makes the declaration of a state of war under clause 2 when parliament is in recess, the speaker shall immediately summon parliament to an emergency session to sit within 72 hours after the declaration of the state of war. President wamala obawandikira nti tuli mu lutalo, speaker ajja kuyita ba parliament bonna within 72 days, 72 hours balina okuba nga batuuse nga batudde nga bakoze ki, nga bakyaprovinze. The president may, with the approval of parliament given by resolution, invoke a declaration of a state of war made under clause 1 of this article. I think lwaki baba batuula, it's to declare how they are going to fight this war, to set plans, to set look for funds, how to fund the war, what to do, solutions and everything. Okay, so that was the declaration of a state of war. So National Planning Authority, there shall be a national planning authority whose composition and functions shall be prescribed by parliament. Okuplaningira eggwanga nga parliament yalina okukola ki, yalina oteekawo amateeka agagenda okugobererwa mu kuplaningira eggwanga. Yeah, that is it. That was chapter 7, the executive. Chapter 7, executive, tulabyemu ebintu bingi. Tulabyemu the president himself, how to appoint him, how we can vote for him, how we can remove him from power just in case he's mentally or physically unstable. We have seen vice president, we have seen appointment of ministers, we have seen attorney generals, we have seen cabinet ministers, we have seen state of wars, state of emergency. I've seen a lot of things under executive, chapter 7. So next time we shall begin on chapter 8, the judiciary, administration of justice, exercise of the judicial powers. Thank you for watching once again. Be there tomorrow. Let's catch up. Bye.